Hi everyone, it is mid-May down here in Georgia right now. Well, I guess everywhere it's mid-May. But right now when I'm filming, it's mid-May. It is very warm down here in Georgia. 80s every day. The weather has been beautiful. May is just like my favorite month ever because I love the sunsets. I love when it hits almost sunset time and all the bunnies come out. I love the long days. It's not super hot out. It's kind of like creeping into summer. And I wanted to film a summer Recs video of some books that I want to read this summer, some books that I recommend for you guys and have recently read. I'm going to start off from my phone, some books that I have on my Goodreads list, and then I'll go through some hardback books that I have. First book that I recommend for this summer 2024, is the book Honor. And this book, I found out about it because it was a Reese Witherspoon book club book, and then she picks very unique books for her book club. This book is about a journalist that goes to India, and I felt like it was just a super cool book because I've never been to India, and this book gave me so much insight on what the country was like. And it's like, basically I like reading books based off the season, so this book had hot weather in it, so I like reading that when I'm in the warmer season. And I feel like too, just learning about different things is fun in the summer. So I recommend that book. I gave it 4 stars, and on Goodreads it's 4.37 stars, so it is very highly rated. And the next book, this was one of my favorite books of all last year, Mary Jane. I loved this book. It's about a girl who's a babysitter. It takes place, I think, in the 70s, and it's just funny because the girl who's the babysitter, Mary Jane, the babysitter, she came from a very strict household. She's an only child, so when she goes to babysit this spunky, cool family, she and the girl she's babysitting are learning so much. They're learning about each other. They're learning other cultural differences, seeing the parents in wigs, and she's like, oh, this is so weird. And she's like their little nanny. And I absolutely love this book. One of my favorite books from last year altogether, and definitely my favorite book from last summer. Gave this book 5 stars, and on Goodreads it's 4.15. That is a very highly rated good book. Another book that I recommend for the summery spirit is Malibu Rising by TJR, of course. We love Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, this book is about a party that takes place one summer in the 1980s. Basically, the whole party goes to shiz, and they're famous celebrities, and it takes you back from their childhood and growing up and how they came to be who they are today. And it was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars, very summery read for sure, and it got 4.04 stars, and it has over 1 million ratings on Goodreads. So this is a very popular book. I'm sure you all have heard of it. But those are just some books that I had on my phone that I wanted to go through from my Goodreads. And now let's go through all my paperbacks. First, I'll keep going through books I've read that I recommend, and then I'll go through some that I want to read. This one, I did not love this book personally, Happy Place, but it did win a Goodreads Choice Award book, and it has over 4 stars on Goodreads. I gave it 3 stars. It was just an average book for me, nothing crazy. It's about a couple. They were engaged and then they broke up, but their friend group goes to a little cottage every year. So the couple pretends like they're still together, and it's just about life and stuff and all the things. I feel like this one kind of depends, I didn't love it, but it is very summery. So if you are thinking, obviously, of reading this book, now would be the time to read it this summer. It's a very good by the pool book. I remember taking this book by the pool. Moving on to what I'm currently reading, I'm super excited to talk about this. Just for the summer, I started reading this book just on a whim. I love this book. I usually do not like romances. This is a romance book. It's about a travel nurse, and I'm a nurse, so I love that aspect. it's about a nurse and she's like a traveler, and then her and this guy go on Reddit and they start chatting, and then she ends up picking an assignment that's in his area where he lives, and they're kind of getting to know each other. And I just love this book. I definitely want to read other books by this author. I feel like it's going to be a 5-star read for me. I'm like 60% done, and on Goodreads it has a 4.47 stars. So you know I'm recommending good books here because they all above 4 stars on Goodreads, okay? This book is just really cute. It's like real life timey, but not in like a cringe way. Like they're not mentioning Frozen. They're mentioning like Reddit and Culver's, which we love. So I love this book so far. I definitely want to read more books by this author, and it's very summery, cute vibes. Takes place kind of on a lake, I want to say, like up in Michigan too. So it's like another kind of unique place. Yeah. The rest of this list is just books that I want to read this summer that I have laying around. Going back to Emily Henry, I bought this book Beach Read, and I bought it at the same time as Happy Place, so honestly I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be obsessed with this book because I may just not be like a huge fan of Emily Henry despite popular demand. We'll see, but I do want to read this summer, and it seems ideally like a book to read at the beach, but I don't think I'm going to the beach this summer. Looks like the author of One Day in December's quote is on the front of this book, and I read One Day in December. Anyways, this looks like a very cute summary book. I know you can't judge a book by its cover, so I'm not expecting the most. Let me see what its Goodreads review is. Okay, 4.01 on Goodreads. Okay, see, I'm recommending the good stuff. I don't know if it's good, but we'll see. We can find out together. Moving on, this is kind of embarrassing because I mentioned this book in my December want to read books, and I just haven't read it because I'm not really drawn to hardbacks, to be honest. It's kind of a lot to lug around if I'm going to carry it with me somewhere. I'm more of a paperback girly. And then 2, I've really hyped this book up in my head, so I'm like, what if I read it and I don't love it? I also heard that it's kind of sad. I know I'm not really hyping it up right now, but it has been hyped up to me. So it looks like a very cutesy summary book to read. Tomorrow, 4.17 on Goodreads, okay? This is good stuff. I'm gonna kind of wrap this up. I don't know how long this video is. It feels kind of short to me, but the last books that I am 100% I'm gonna read these this summer, okay? Are the 2 newest Jessa Hastings books. She came out with Never, which is basically like a Peter Pan type of book. This is like a beautiful cover, okay? This looks amazing. I love this so much. And like the side, beautiful. So this is like Peter Pan vibe spin-off type of book, and it's also the first book that she has written outside of the Magnolia Park series, and I love that series, and that was her first series ever. And each book, her writing is getting better and better and better because she's kind of like a newer author. So I'm super excited. This book came out like in March, and I don't know, I guess it's another one of those, like, it sounds so good and seems so hyped up that I don't want to, like, read it just yet because it's, like, almost more exciting just to have it sit on your shelf knowing, like, this is going to be a good book. This book doesn't have a lot of ratings so far, so this might not be accurate. It only has 3.23 stars, but we could just say that could not be accurate because it only has 5,000 ratings. So maybe I do need to read this book so I can give it a high star rating if I actually like it. Okay, that kind of lowered my expectations a little bit. Okay, my very last book that I want to read this summer and kind of am recommending if you want to read it too is Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. This is a beautiful cover, okay? Look at that. This is amazing. This is the 5th book in the series, and I believe it's the last book in the series too. It has 4.47 stars on Goodreads. Okay, very high. It looks very thick too, and I know she writes small. Like, the text is very small. So, she thick. Ooh, over 700 pages. Sheesh. Oh, look at the back. This is just adorable. Like, literally, she's so creative. I love Magnolia Parks and BJ, and I just love this author. I'm super excited to read this. This looks amazing. I would love to be able to get through all these books and more this summer, so hopefully we can do it. Let's all set a goal here to read like 20 books this summer. Out by the pool, out by the lake, you know. Summer is that pool time reading, lake time reading, camping reading, hammock reading, all the things. So I hope you all have a great start to your summer, especially right now while it's not like super hot. Let me know what books you're planning on reading, and I hope you all have a great rest of your May.